The last thing you want is to have someone that you love so dearly feel so unsafe even in their own private residency. And that is why, as mayor of Oakland, I am working closely with our police chief and with our chief of Department of Violence to ensure that we have the comprehensive approach that we speak of, including putting resources behind it. We are working on a comprehensive plan, and this plan will work. We will be giving more resources to our young people. And that is what the reflection of the budget looks like. It's our values. But on the same token, we also must make sure that there is justice. We also know that it is not okay for you to come to Oakland and commit crimes of any sort. And that is why we have reinvested into our foot patrol officers in our business corridors. We have reinvested in our traffic division, bringing back our motorcycle officers. And not just that, but under this administration, we are uplifting new partnerships with the County Sheriff's Department, with the California Highway Patrol, and more so than that, with ATF, DEA, and others. We're taking all of this very seriously, and we're taking all different approaches to ensure a better and stronger quality of life in the city of Oakland, because that is what our residents and businesses deserve. And so with that being said, I would like to bring up the Chief of the Department of Violence Prevention, Kentrell Killens.
Thank you, Mayor Thao. Again, my name is Kentrell Killens. I am the interim chief of the Department of Violence Prevention. We're here as the service component. I am personally a product of services, having positive adults attached to my life, helping me to reorganize my thought process, providing me with resources and opportunities. And that's exactly what the Department of Violence Prevention is here to do, is to offer all of these young individuals an opportunity to connect to services, but not just the individuals, the families. Connect them to resources to help make a difference in the decision-making and the outcomes of their personal lives. Making sure that individuals are committed to standing with them through growth and through maturing, and making sure that school and access to opportunities like employment is available for individuals who want them. We have a connection with the probation department, which allows us at this time to go in and to begin the process of meeting with young people and building those relationships so that as they return to community, they return with a connection to positive adults. They return with a connection and a commitment from this community. These are our babies. These are our children. And they deserve a chance to get things together. They deserve a chance to have the level of support to help them turn things around, to help them deter the behavior. And so we're committed to standing with these families, with these individuals, and providing a level of resources, intensive resources, to make sure that they have access to doing the things that will make them help them to make better decisions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kentrell. It is our understanding that many of the suspects are juveniles. And that is why we're speaking about resources here today. I also want to make sure that we thank our great officers, our Oakland officers who did the investigative work, to ensure that these suspects who are connected to multiple robberies were apprehended. I want to also bring up next Councilmember 5 from District 3. Councilmember 5.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And because my district, the district that I represent, is home to several of our business corridors, Jack London Square, downtown Oakland, uptown, downtown, it's important that people feel safe and are able to come to Oakland knowing that they can shop, they can enjoy the entertainment scene, and feel safe. Not just feel safe, but be safe. And the fact that we have apprehended some of the young people that are responsible for these incidents is a step towards that. Now, one of the things that we need to do, because they are juveniles, is look at what is happening around them and why they feel the need to engage in this type of behavior in the first place. Because the reality is when children engage in this type of criminal activity, it's probably connected to some adults somewhere in the pipeline. So while we are definitely investing in resources to ensure that our young people have opportunities and alternatives so that they don't have to go into this life of crime, it's important that we look upstream and see why they are doing this and why are they engaging in this behavior. And then we need consequences, because any parent knows that if you have a little person and then you don't change their behavior when they're engaging in even just trying to touch a hot stove, they will continue to do things that hurt themselves and hurt other people. And we've got to divert that. So resources is key. Consequences are key so that we can make an Oakland that everyone feels safe in. Thank you.
Chief Allison.
All right, good morning, everyone. Interim Chief Darren Allison. In recent weeks, we've seen a surge in violence which has impacted our community, and it's concerning for all of us who work, live, and visit the city of Oakland. Our city, like many other major cities, is facing very challenging times, and it's crucial that we come together and take a collaborative approach when it comes to addressing crime in Oakland. 2 weeks ago, our city experienced 100 robberies in 1 week, 50 of which occurred in 72 hours over a weekend. Some of the robberies included carjackings, shootings, and other assaults. The recent series of robberies placed us 7% up in robberies compared to the previous year at this time. Based on the unacceptable increase, I immediately tasked my command staff with refocusing and prioritizing our approach to addressing carjackings and robberies in the city of Oakland. Our violent crime teams used intelligence-led and precision-based policing to make significant arrests. That same day that we initiated this on May 15th, officers arrested 3 adults and 2 juveniles who were connected to committing at least 10 reported armed robberies in the city of Oakland. And just 3 days ago, our officers arrested 9 juveniles in connection to a reported 35 robberies, which occurred in more than a dozen Oakland neighborhoods, including robberies outside the city, El Cerrito and Piedmont. Since last week, when we began our focused effort to address street robberies, our officers have arrested a total of 20 individuals and recovered 3 firearms for various crimes. Of those 20, 6 were adults and 14 were juveniles. As you can see, a trend that we're seeing with robberies has been an increased involvement of minors. As we see this increase in violent crime involving young people, we do continue to collaborate with our restorative justice, outreach, and mentor programs and partners. This includes collaborations with the city's Department of Violence Prevention, who you've heard from. In addition, I know that the mayor in her proposed budget is standing up the Department of Children, Youth, and Family to deliver programs, services, and other resources to support at-risk and disadvantaged youth. As we continue forward, our officers will continue to work diligently to protect our community and bring those who harm our community to justice. Even more specifically, they will continue to work with our community. We want to ensure that our community feels a sense of security. It is important to remember just how great Oakland truly is. I want to recognize the residents of Oakland for their resiliency, which have been demonstrated through this difficult time. I'd also like to thank the hardworking women and men of the Oakland Police Department for their tireless efforts and diligent work in providing public safety. Their commitment to the city of Oakland is unwavering, and their outstanding work is a testament to their dedication. I'll turn it back over to the mayor.
Thank you. We have time for 2 questions.
I sort of expected a different way to do this would be to have the interim chief come up and tell us the exciting pursuit takedown from a couple days ago. Instead, you're talking about services, support, adult mentors. Can you talk a little bit about why that approach is so much more important? I'm sure a lot of people are breathing a sigh of relief, knowing that they can walk a little easier in the city. What is your approach? How do you respond if they're still feeling nervous, knowing that there might be still some potential robbers out there?
Absolutely. It is a comprehensive approach. And like Councilmember Fife stated, a lot of these young people, there is a reason, there is the root cause that we always talk about why someone is what we would think choose a life of crime. No one would actually openly, willingly, I believe in my heart, will choose a life of crime. So we have to get to those root causes. On the same token, we have to have consequences. And this is why our great officers are doing that work. Their investigative work really was able to apprehend the suspects, the many suspects, juveniles and adults that were involved in the robberies in the city of Oakland. And this, I want to be very clear, that this is to send a strong message that if you are thinking to commit crimes in the city of Oakland, that you will be caught. Because we are not going to allow for our residents and our businesses to feel unsafe in our communities, to walk to the grocery store, to walk to their vehicles. And so this is a part of that comprehensive plan. But on the same token, it is true. In my budget, we will be investing in the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, because why not prevent crimes from happening before it happens?
You talked about consequences. Does that mean through the criminal justice system, carceral consequences?
In carceral consequences, obviously, we don't have the authority as the City of Oakland to charge and to give those consequences in a set manner. That is up to the judge and through the judicial system. But it's not just the carceral consequences. It's also, like we talked about, the very programmings, the mentorship. We all know that, people can change. People can change, and they can choose different options if there are more options to be picked from. And so that's what we're trying to do as well, too, in the city of Oakland. However, again, it will be up to the district attorney's office and the judge to make those decisions.
You believe it's appropriate?
It is absolutely appropriate.
This is
Yeah.
a question for the chief. What happened with those 3 adults, of the 3 adults and 2 juveniles? Are they incarcerated now? Did the DA file charges? Are they in custody?
I can actually bring up our Criminal Investigations Division Commander, Captain Dave Elsley. He can give more specifics on the cases and the arrests that were made.
Thank you, Chief. Hello, I'm David Elsley. I'm captain of our Criminal Investigation Division. This case that you speak of, one of the adults was charged with a probation violation
By the DA or
by the district attorney's office. The juveniles, one was charged for stolen vehicle and possession of stolen property, as well as a weapon charge because a firearm was found, and we linked it to that individual. The other juvenile was charged with a stolen vehicle as well, possessing a stolen vehicle, and the other 2 were not charged of any offenses by the district attorney.
And are the 3 adults in custody or out of custody?
I believe they are still in custody.
You believe, but you're not sure.
I'm not sure, yes.
Could you spell your last name?
E-L-Z, like zebra, E-Y.
When it comes to the adults, and you guys are always saying how the adults are sort of running the children, telling them where to go and what to do, how can you charge someone like that for those crimes? Like what sort of crimes can you charge them with for telling a child to go to perform these crimes?
Yeah, so we don't charge them. That would be contributing to the delinquency of a minor. If the evidence leads that way, and we can, present that as such, then that charging decision will be up to the district attorney's office, and they have many reasons for their charging considerations that don't involve us.
Okay, so we are, thank you so much for joining us today. That is it for this press conference. If you want to do follow-up, Patty on my staff is my communications director. We also have Mr. Paul Chambers, communications director for the police department. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Yeah, we're still really interested in details about, excuse me,
Yeah,
Paul Chambers. Paul Chambers, please come back.
Give me a minute.
We'll be back to give you follow-up questions to capture.
How soon we're on deadline?
Okay.